Hey, what's up guys, Charles Powers. I'm really excited today because I just got back from San Francisco. It was awesome. Got a couple of hours of hands-on time with Far Cry Primal, about 3.5 to 4 hours. And after playing the game, I've got some things to say. So today we're gonna be taking a look at my hands-on with Far Cry Primal. This is me playing the game, so don't laugh at me guys. Actually, you guys can laugh at me because I've been playing Far Cry since like Far Cry 2. So you guys go have at it. Have absolutely at it. Now, a couple of things are different about the game. We'll go into that in detail, and I also have a full developer interview about the game, about some of the nuances that I found in the game that I found interesting, and I just wanted to talk to somebody about it. So I got that video coming up right after this one, so be sure to take a look when that drops. And without further ado, here is my hands-on with Far Cry Primal. Take a look guys. So I had a total of about 3.5 to 4 hours of hands-on playtime with the game. From the very beginning of the game, played a couple hours of that, to a later portion with a stronger character. I would say I spent a good 50 to 60% of that time exploring the world of Oros. Far Cry Primal is set 12,000 years in the past, and as the lore goes, the land was covered in ice, which is now melted, and given way to a new age of beast, fauna, and mankind. You play as Takkar, a hunter who's stranded, and now is tasked with rejoining the rest of his tribe. So the world is massive. I was told the map was as large as Far Cry 4, so you know it's huge. And I spent as much time as I could exploring while doing all the other stuff I was supposed to be doing. Now this was kind of a chore because there are no cars, no buggies, no wingsuit, and honestly I'm kind of worried that would cause getting around the world to be kind of a drag. Now, I was really excited to play that whole mind meld, animal control aspects of the game that I'd heard so much about. Now, Takkar, he learns the ancient and kind of supernatural art of animal taming. This gives you control of a ton of animals, from honey badgers to saber-toothed tigers. Your first animal is an owl. That's your eyes in the sky as you make your way through the land of Oros. The owl can be called to scout ahead, tag enemies, do all of that fun stuff. Alongside the owl, you can have one other animal, but the owl is the only animal you can manually control. The others merely follow you and can only be commanded. Now don't worry, if your animal friend takes too much damage, you can heal it by feeding it a piece of meat, which you do have to acquire. And as you progress in the game, you can level up your tame ability, which allows you to get stronger animals. So you don't of course start off by taming the saber-tooth. You start off with the wolf and then you work your way up. Kind of similar to the NPC buddies of Far Cry 4, you know, that you call in for reinforcements and whatnot. That was kind of cool. I didn't get to play too much of the story, but the more time I spent with Far Cry Primal, the more I really became enthralled with the game's narrative. Throughout the game, not a single word of English was spoken, and I thought that would be kind of distracting at first, but it was actually the opposite. It actually pulled me into the game a little bit more. So is this Far Cry 5, or is the game along the same lines of Blood Dragon? Those are some questions that I personally had before playing the game. Much like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Revelations, releasing in between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, it kind of follows that Far Cry Primal is a sort of intermediary game between Far Cry 4 and an upcoming Far Cry 5. However, make no mistake, Far Cry Primal is a fully fleshed out game that promises near endless hours of playtime. The game looks gorgeous, and I could harp on the graphics of the game, but I'm really not going to, because you can take a look and see that this game looks beautiful. Now, one thing I do want to mention really quick is, you know, previous Far Cry games, there was so much going on between the hunting, the scavenging, the racing, the radio tower, destroying, outpost clearing, liberating, hallucinating. There was a ton of stuff going on. Not to mention your crafting and doing all this stuff. But I feel like for the first time in a Far Cry game, the mechanics of foraging and crafting, you finally have some sort of adequate context to put those in, because in Far Cry Primal, that's your way of life. Everyone has to hunt and gather. That's the society that you're in. So it's great to have some sort of context to go along with the narrative and the reasons why you're doing things. So that was awesome. Just a little tidbit. Now, Far Cry Primal hits the PS4 and Xbox One shelves next month, February 23rd, and the PC in March. No concrete release date yet on PC, which is kind of weird. I had a blast playing the game. I loved it. It was kind of like a breath of fresh air, as cliche as that sounds. I loved the combat, I loved the narrative, and I love the fact that Ubisoft is taking a chance by sending us to an era in time where not a lot of games, not a lot of developers venture into, because you don't have there are no guns, there are no shiny cars. You know, it's kind of just the raw brutality of man versus wild, which at the core is what Far Cry is all about. So there it was. What'd you think? I had a blast. Yeah, like I said, it feels like Far Cry, which is not a bad thing. Of course, you know, Ubisoft took some massive leaps in terms of the setting, the storytelling, the narrative. So it's gotta be one of the top games you should be looking forward to, because I know I am. And like I said earlier in this video, I've got a full developer interview. We talk about some really interesting things. That's gonna be coming out here in the next couple of days, this week for sure. So please be sure you subscribe to The Game Fanatics, and of course, check out thegamefanatics.com for our full written review. Until next time, guys.